Hi folks, welcome to another episode of Cooking with Tony. Tonight I'm going to make some fried boneless chicken breast. You can use this for sandwiches, fried chicken sandwiches, or just by itself. You can add a white sauce on top of it if you like, or even a chicken gravy. But today I'm going to use mine for a sandwich. I'm not sure what my wife is going to use for hers and stuff, but why don't we go ahead and let me show you what we need. Okay, these are all the ingredients that I'm going to use tonight, just quickly out of my cupboard. I got some onion powder, garlic powder, some ground thyme, some rub sage, some sea salt. I'm going to use a little marjoram and some poultry seasoning, along with some all-purpose flour. Now for my flour, I'm going to add it into a container, and I'm going to use about 2 cups of flour. I'm going to use about a tablespoon of salt, same thing with poultry seasoning, about a tablespoon of poultry seasoning. I'm not shy about my poultry seasoning or my sage. And I'm going to use about a teaspoon of marjoram. That's about a half. There. My rub sage. I'm going to use a tablespoon of rub sage also. Thyme. I'm going to use about a teaspoon of thyme. Alright. I love the smell of thyme. And my pepper. I'm going to use about a tablespoon of pepper. I like pepper. You can go down to a teaspoon if you want. But I want to be able to taste the sauces, the flavors. Garlic powder. Garlic powder is not salty, so you can add as much. I like to add about a tablespoon of garlic powder so I can taste the garlic. And I'm going to do the same thing with the onion powder. That's probably about 1.5 teaspoons right there. And my onion powder, about 1.5 teaspoons. Okay, we're going to whisk this up. Work this all up real nice. Or if you want, you can use a Ziploc baggie or something like that, and just add it in there. That would probably work just as well too. And then you could discard the whole thing when you're done. Yeah, I can smell those seasonings. Okay, next I'm going to take and crack 2 eggs. Add a splash of milk. Water will work too. And whisk this up for your egg wash. That's a good consistency. I don't know if you can see that. First I'm going to turn my oven on and get it up to 400 degrees. And let that preheat in the meantime. I'm going to turn my stove on, get that hot. Add a little bit of oil to help brown this. Let this heat up. Okay, my pan's starting to feel warm, so I'm going to take my chicken. I've already trimmed all the excess fat and whatever I don't like off of it and washed it. I always redo my chicken and wash it to make sure it's done before I fry it up. First I'm going to dip it in my flour and give it a little coat. Come over to my egg wash, dip it in the egg wash. And once, dip it right back into the flour again. And give it another coat. Take off the excess, put it right in the pan. Continue doing that with the rest of your chicken. Okay, now I'm going to brown these in the skillet, and then I'm going to stick them in the oven to finish them off in the oven. So let's get to the flip. Now I can tell by the way this smells it's getting close to flip the chicken. So let's take a look at this. Oh, got my oven's ready. Got it. Look at that. Nice, perfect coating. Nice golden brown coating. This one's probably got just a little bit longer to go. Now on this side, because I'm going to stick it right in the oven, I'm going to brown this about half the length of time I did the other, and because it'll keep on doing its thing in the oven. My oven's at 400 degrees and it's ready. I'm going to turn my heat off. It's ready for the oven to finish off in there. Throw that in there. Now another thing I wanted to show you that I do is my leftover flour. You see how I got a lot of leftover flour, seasoned flour, and you can just throw it away. It's not like flour is really expensive, but I like to save my flour and I'll stick it in the freezer and that. But before you can do that, you're going to make sure you don't have any liquid or moisture in there. And I just use a little Ziploc baggie. As you see, I got seasoned flour for chicken, so it tells me what it is. Like I said, if I'm want to make like a gravy or something, I just use my seasoned flour. And that, and I'll just take a little strainer. I don't really want to use my sifter, and I'll just pour it right through here, right in here, like so, and just work it back and forth, and it'll just get the flour and leave out any lumps and clumps or any moisture. It'll get it all out. So right here I got my poultry seasoning and my sage in here and that, and I've got like my black pepper and my salt. That didn't go through, but this is all fine and still good, so I'm going to stick it in the freezer until I need it for my next project, whatever that may be.